What makes the Bregalnica river basin in eastern Macedonia such an extremely special place is its biodiversity. It is here, in this land barely touched by human beings, that this corner of southeastern Europe really comes into its own in terms of natural heritage and the urgent need to conserve and protect it. A range of factors has meant that the biodiversity in the Bregalnica Basin is now under threat. The principal reason for this is simply that, until recently, there was very little understanding of the region's abundant natural resources. The Nature Conservation Programme in Macedonia of the Swiss Agency for Development and Cooperation is the only project focused on identifying, assessing and valorising the basin's biodiversity, with a view to conserving it for future generations. One of the first steps taken by the NCP in Macedonia was the conduct of an ecological analysis, during which a team of 36 experts, students and volunteers worked for 18 months to identify, assess and valorise the basin's biodiversity. This analysis was the basis for the preparation of an Ecological Sensitivity Map that proposed the establishment of certain protected areas. The first ever analysis of its kind in the region collected data on all the plant and animal life in the area and confirmed it as a genuine biodiversity hotspot. It demonstrated that the Bregalnica river basin and Macedonia's eastern planning region are home to some of the most interesting natural habitats in the country, with more than 60 different types registered.
Се работи според класификација која се вика EUNIS и во која хабитатите се групирани во неколку главни групи, а тие од своја страна фаќаат поголем број на помали групи. Во рамките на Брегалничкиот слив може да се препознаат хабитати од скоро сите основни групи според EUNIS. Тука има планински, има шумски, има крајречни и така натаму. Сметаме дека посебно внимание треба да се посвети на хабитатите кои се наоѓаат во вливниот дел на Bregalnica, во регионот на Стаполикото подрачје на Македонија.
The basin's flora numbers more than 1,200 species, which is astonishing considering that the entire range of the neighbouring Osogovo Mountains has only around 1,000.
Во текот на истражувањата беа добиени многу значени резултати за распространувањето на одредени ретки видови. Таков беше случај со инсективорното растение Дрозера ротундифолија, која што беше позната досега само за едно наоѓалиште. Во изминатиот период таа е откриена уште на неколку нови локалитети. И постојаните теренски истражувања доведуваат до нови сознанија за вкупниот флористички и вегетацијски состав на ова подрачје.
The Macedonian sage is a steno-endemic species found only in the steppe-like habitats of central Macedonia and nowhere else on the planet. It is even rare in this region, found only in a few micro-localities, such as this village cemetery, where a relatively stable population flowers in an area of roughly 100 square metres. The ecological analysis also logged almost 600 different species of fungi in the basin, 43 of which are classified as rare and 41 as extremely rare. 83 species of fungi were discovered for the first time in Macedonia. Furthermore, 66 of Macedonia's 85 species of mammal reside in the Bregalnica Basin. In order to confirm the presence of certain species, the team of mammal experts placed traps equipped with cameras, which produced some truly fascinating results and footage. The basin, covering around 17% of the country's territory, is also exceptionally diverse in terms of birds of prey and other fowl. In fact, 220 of the 250 species of bird regularly dwelling in Macedonia reside here. This extraordinarily high proportion is above all due to the great diversity of habitats in the region. Metodia Velevski from the Museum of Natural History in Skopje is an ornithologist and was one of the key experts during the research phase.
Во регионот на Bregalnica, посебно во долниот тек на сливот, се застапени голем број разновидни мозаични живеалишта, комбинација на ридски пасишта со обработливи површини, испреплетени со меги, остатоци од дабови шуми, и сето тоа создава фантастични услови за живот на голем број видови птици, од кои посебно би го истакнал во овој случај царскиот орел, односно подрачјето на Bregalnica поддржува некоја популација од околу 15 двојки, што е една голема густина за така мал простор.
Also particularly noteworthy is the nesting of Egyptian vultures, a globally endangered species. The river itself, as well as the paddies, rice fields and accumulations, are very important for migratory aquatic birds, some of which make a stopover here, while others, such as the black stork, nest in the area. To put this into context, 7 of the 24 most important bird areas in the territory of the Republic of Macedonia are fully or partially located in the basin.
Посебно е значајна популацијата на штркови во Кочанското поле. Тоа е најгустата популација во Македонија и зависи од традиционалното одгледување на ориз во регионот.
The area is also home to 11 species of amphibians and 27 species of reptiles. Professor Liljana Tomovic from Belgrade University is a herpetology expert.
As concerned to herpetofaunal diversity, lower part of the Bregalnica river basin is characterized by the highest species diversity of reptiles and amphibians. There are many species of Mediterranean faunal elements. One of them is this leopard snake. This is non-venomous colubrid snake, and it is spread in the steppe region in Macedonia, as well as some other Mediterranean species. All those species are very rare in Macedonia. They are protected by law, and also they are very important for biodiversity and nature protection in this country.
As already mentioned, many students and volunteers were part of the team that conducted the ecological analysis, and in July 2014 and 2015, groups of around 30 conducted field research on Plachkovica mountain and the Maleshevo mountain range. They were divided into sections, with one group collecting insects, the other plants, another fungi, and so on. All of the gathered material was then examined by experts in their respective fields in order to more precisely verify the findings.
Истражувањето на флората на силикатните алги или диатомеи од сливот на реката Bregalnica покажа постоење на неколку интересни видови кои се претпоставува дека се потенцијално нови. Моментално се работи на нив со цел да се утврди нивниот вистински статус.
As predicted by the professor, an additional year of studious field research did indeed lead to the exciting discovery of about 10 previously unknown species of algae that scientists will be able to examine and hopefully learn from. The research discovered 39 species of dragonfly, 5 of which are on international lists for species conservation, many different species of spiders, scorpions and termites, as well as an extraordinary variety of beetles. While the basin's forests host species that are especially significant for conservation and are also indicators of well-preserved forest ecosystems, such as these majestic longhorn beetles. The river's catchment area is also diverse in agrobiological terms, with crop varieties and hybrids that are used in commercial production, as well as older varieties of fruit, such as apples and pears, primarily for the needs of locals. The area's landscape diversity, especially its mountainous section, is also fertile ground for Macedonia's most famous local potato varieties, as well as native breeds of livestock, ovče polka, pramenka and busha.
Вековното практицирање на земјоделството во подрачјето на сливот на Bregalnica на традиционален начин искористување на ресурсите придонесло за формирање на голем број разновидни пределски единици. Најкарактеристично за подрачјето од интерес може би се руралните предели, бидејќи поседуваат многу остатоци од природна вегетација, така што пределските карактеристики на брегалничкиот слив овозможуваат и одржување на биодиверзитетот.
However, despite all of this amazing diversity in the Bregalnica River Basin, only 7 of Macedonia's 86 protected areas are located there, the last of which was proclaimed in the 1980s.
Од 7 заштитени подрачја во сливот на реката Bregalnica, еден локалитет, Мурите, представува една многу интересна шумска заедница со смрча и ела, нешто што е невообичаено за Македонија. Еден е палеонтолошки локалитет, а останатите 5 се однесуваат на поединечни дрвја или мали групи дрвја, односно степ.
Even more worrying is that these 7 natural heritage areas cover only 70 hectares, or 0.03% of the total area of the protected areas in the country, which means that in reality, almost none of the basin is currently protected. At the moment, Macedonia's protected areas are mainly located on mountains, but recent research has shown that the area that is unquestionably the most valuable in terms of natural resources is the lowland, steppe-like landscape. For this reason, the Swiss Agency for Development and Cooperation's Nature Conservation Programme, taking into account the findings of the Ecological Analysis, proposed the creation of an Ecological Sensitivity Map, which defined a system of protected areas.
Еколошката сензитивност се базира главно на податоците за биодиверзитетот во подрачјето, односно сите вредни наоди на птици, цицачи, херпетофауна, инсекти и други инвертебрати се картирани точно во тој географски информационен систем и се изработени посебни леери, односно слоеви, кои ни ја покажуваат биолошката вредност на определени локалитети во подрачјето на сливот на Bregalnica.
It is hoped that the map will enable the appropriate management of biodiversity, biocorridors, and core zones outside protected areas. Otherwise, small, scattered and isolated protected areas will, in all likelihood, be unable to provide effective protection.
The Bregalnica region, with its unique diversity of land use types, ecosystems and species, has a lot of diverse values. Not only ecological values, but also recreational, cultural and economic values, which are often not acknowledged enough. And the NCP program aims at promoting these values for the benefit of the local population and for the regional socio-economic development.
Implementing the key recommendations from these activities would also allow Macedonia to meet the obligations of Natura 2000, one of the preconditions for aspiring members of the European Union. All of the results obtained will be integrated into the strategic spatial planning document for this part of the country, so that, for the very first time, biodiversity conservation will be one of the main pillars in the planning of the region's future sustainable development. The programme is coordinated by Helvetas Swiss Intercooperation and Farmerheim,